All right, so I'm going to create a desktop organizer, and let me get rid of the let me get rid of this stuff on the phone. All right, so we're going to create a desktop organizer. I'm going to create mine from the front because I kind of know what the profile of I want my organizer to look like. So new sketch, normal, and this is going to be a very basic desktop organizer. Yours should be a little bit more detailed, but this will cover all of the components that you'll need for it. So I know that I want mine to be 6 inches wide. Actually, I want it to be more 6 inches wide, 10 inches wide. And I want this bottom section to be 3 inches tall. I'm going to have two sections to mine. I'm going to have this bottom section, and I'm going to actually have another section that's over here. And this section is going to be 5 wide and 4 tall. So I get a total of 7 inches on the side. If you want, you can get out rulers and do some measurements to figure out exactly the size that you want. Once I have this done, I'm going to go ahead and enable the front profile, because it is going to be my front profile of my desktop organizer. I'm going to go ahead and extrude my desktop organizer. I'm going to extrude my desktop organizer once Onshape catches up, because I have a poor connection. I want to do a depth of about 6 inches. Actually, I'm going to go 10 inches here. Okay. Now I have this shape, and this is like you're looking at the front of my desktop organizer. So I want to create some sections for it, and I want to create some parts, and I want to do some stuff to this. So let's go ahead and thicken some sides. So I'm going to go ahead and thicken opposite sides. So this side, make sure it's new, 0.125. And I'm going to change the direction. I'm going to call this the sides. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do the back. Thicken the back side, back, 0.125. Change the direction. Going to be new, and I'm going to call this the back. I don't want the top of my part to be closed in. I don't want this to be closed in, but I do want this section to be closed in. And so I'm going to go ahead and close that in by thickening, doing another thickening. So we're thickening this part. I'm going to change the directions, 0.125, and I'm going to give it a name. So it's going to be new. Change the direction. Give it a name. We're going to call this the shelf. And then I need a wall that's here. So I'm going to go ahead and thicken this one in. Change the direction. Call it 0.125. New. I'm going to call this the wall. I got one more side I got to do. I got to do the bottom. So I'm going to thicken the bottom. Change the direction. 0.125. Call this the bottom. Now that I have all of, oops, I didn't do that correct. I need to make sure that it's on new and not remove. So I have all of these done. I'm going to go ahead and delete this middle section. So I'm going to delete part 1. And so now I have all of these parts done. So I want to go ahead and label my parts. So this is going to be renamed. After I delete that, we're going to rename this. Rename. It's going to be the left. It's going to be the right. This is going to be, and I'm going to look for this, guys. So this is going to be the back. This is going to be the shelf. It's going to be the wall. And finally, rename. This is going to be the bottom. Okay. So once I have everything renamed, rename. I need to move some things around. Remember that whenever I do stuff like this, I want to make it a little more stable. I'm going to go ahead and transform this. So we're going to transform this, and I want to transform it by XYZ, and I want to go in the Z direction of 0.125. So it's not quite at the bottom, so it's a bit of a standoff. Now, also, I got to make sure everything intersects. And we notice that this orange and this blue don't intersect. So I need to bring the orange down. I need to thicken this by 0.125. Right? Then I'm going to go ahead and hide the orange. And I'm going to thicken the blue by 0.125. So now I'm going to put the wall back, and now they intersect. And because they intersect, they actually will laser joint. Right? And I actually, for this orange, I'm going to go ahead and bring the orange all the way down to the bottom because I'm going to make this section a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this shelf. I'm going to bring this all the way down to here. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. And I'm going to go, instead of blind, I'm going to go to face. And I want to go to this face down here. And it's going to be added. And the merge scope is I'm going to add it to this orange. So now if I get rid of the shelf or make the shelf visible, now I have these sections here. Okay. So now I can work with these sections just because I like my desktop organizers not to have corners that hurt me. So I'm going to go ahead and fillet these corners out. And I'm going to go ahead and change my distance. We're going to do 1 inch. So we're going to make them nice and round. So they're rounded out. I can put shelves in here if I want, but all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. So at this point in time, you can do your laser joining if you want, but I like to do it at the very end. But if you want to see what it looks like laser joint, you can do laser joint, automatic, adaptive pin sizing. Go ahead and select everything I want to laser join, and it'll go ahead and laser join everything together for me. Okay. Part of your project, though, is you need to have a drawer. So I need to put a drawer in here. So there has to be some sort of drawer. So how do I put a drawer? Well, you got to be creative. So we're going to create a sketch on this back surface. We're going to use the walls of the inside of this, the walls of my shelf, to create a drawing. So that and like that. Okay. Go ahead and hide the work planes. So once I've used the walls, I can then create an extrusion. So finish the sketch. Now we're going to create an extrusion using the sketch. And I want to extrude this out up to my face. So blind, instead of blind, I'm going to go up to face. And it's going to be up to this face. And I've now created a new part. I've created this part 7 down here at the bottom. So I'm going to want to hide all of the parts. So we're going to go here, and we're going to hide other parts. So now we have this box. Now that we have this box, we can create our drawer. We're going to create our drawer by using our thickening again, just like we did a box. Opposite sides, new, change the direction, 0.125. We're going to call this the walls, the drawer, and right, drawer, LR, walls. Okay. I'm going to do the front and the back. So I'm going to do extrude, back, front, change the directions, 0.125. New, we're going to call this the front and the back. So D, FB. front and back. The drawers are front and the back. And then I got to do the bottom. So thicken the bottom, change the direction, 0.125, new. We'll call this the D bottom. Now I can delete that part. So we're going to go ahead and delete part 7. And now I have a drawer. So I can turn on everything. And what you'll see now is a complete everything is now complete. Now you can't do your laser joint. You can't do auto laser joint here if you do your drawers. The reason why you can't do auto laser joint if you do your drawers, because they don't overlap. The drawers and the box don't overlap. So you're going to actually have to hide those parts that you made. You have to hide these parts. And then now you can do your, oops, I did the back. What happened to the back? Actually, let's go ahead and edit this. Oh, because I did the back too. Okay, there we go. So once we have that, we can do our laser joint. We can do automatic, adaptive pin sizing. So those laser joints will make. And then if you hide the other stuff that you just made and you make your drawer visible, you'll be able to laser join your drawer. So you have to do them separately. So we do laser join, automatic, adaptive pin sizing is set. Okay. Just like with your box though, you want your drawer. So we're going to go ahead and suppress this for now. We want our drawer bottom to be up a ways off of the bottom. So we're going to go transform. We're going to transform by XYZ. And in the Z direction, we're going to put 0.125. We're going to finish that transformation. And then for this to work, we actually have to put it above our laser joint. And then we can unsuppress our laser joint. Unsuppress. So then we'll have something that looks like that. So now if I unhide everything, I have my laser cut desktop organizer of sorts. Okay. Now, some people are going to be like, hey, I want to create sections here at the top and I want to do like a something to hold some other objects. Well, make sure you do that before you do your laser joint. So if I want to make this wall come up higher and this wall come up higher so that I have like a little cubby in the front there, I can. But you have to make sure you do it before you do your laser joining. So there's a very basic desktop organizer. It does not really meet all the constraints, but I've shown you how to do a drawer and a shelf and a divider, and you guys know how to do the other dividers. Are there any questions?